G'day buddies, I am Jacaro Toro, and on this channel I talk about Australian Aborigines, their languages, cultures, history and so on. And this, as it so happens, is a video in the series Straya BB. So that is Australia before the British. Today we are going to look at some linguistic evidence for Indonesian fishermen coming down to the north of Australia in previous centuries, beginning probably in the early 1700s from Makassar. Makassar being a city in southwestern Sulawesi. Sulawesi, an Indonesian island up that way. But actually it would seem that evidence is piling up that perhaps fishermen and sailors from that part of the world have been coming to northern Australia much longer. Anyway, what happened in the early 1700s, and this was established already in 1976 by one C.C. McKnight in a book, that sailors from Makassar started to come down looking for sea cucumber, also known as tripang. This, by the way, is the Makassarese word for sea cucumber, taripang. And this word is found in many languages in northern Australia, meaning sea cucumber. The sea cucumber looks like a cucumber that lives in the sea, hence the name. And obviously tripang, the English word tripang, must come from this word as well. So anyway, they started to come down in the early 1700s, which was of course before British colonization. And around the middle of the century, they started fishing sea cucumber here quite a lot. Why? Well, they were sort of the middleman, you could say. They had discovered that you could sell sea cucumber to the Chinese and make a profit, because the Chinese considered the sea cucumber to be a delicacy, and they also wanted it because they thought it had medicinal properties. Yes, and what they did, these ships that sailed out of Makassar, is that they sailed down with the northwest monsoon in December, January, and then they stayed for a few months here in Arnhem Land and further west in the Kimberleys. And then they sailed home around April with southeast trade winds. And as I'm sure you can imagine, this resulted in many kids being born, kids with Indonesian fathers and Australian Aboriginal mothers. This is a known fact. Anyway, in an article in the Australian Journal of Linguistics in 1992, Nick Evans listed lots of Makassarese loanwords in languages of Arnhem Land here. But he also noted that there were many words in these languages that were obviously foreign, but that were not Makassarese. So where did they come from? In early 2022, I saw on Facebook that Antoinette Schapper linked this article that she had just had published also in the Australian Journal of Linguistics. And here she sets out to try to solve this mystery with these other words. First, she wants to add a couple of more words to the list of known Makassarese loanwords in the languages of Arnhem Land. She focuses on Arnhem Land as well. So, dili, rifle, and in Nungoboyo we found padili, rifle. By the way, I have languages in 3 language families represented here. I have Yulngo Mata, Yulngo languages from the easternmost tip here. I have Borara, which belongs to a small language family consisting of only 4 languages spoken just west of the Yulngo languages. And we have this Gunwingwan language, and these languages are spoken further west and south in Arnhem Land. So, rifle. Then we have berang, cleaver. And in the Yulngo variety Jinang, we find birang, knife. And as Schapper notes, these ships might have sailed out of Makassar, but the crews on the ships were multi-ethnic. So she tries to find the sources for loanwords in Southeast Sulawesi languages. Makassarese is a Southwest Sulawesi language. She looks at Western Timor languages, also at Eastern Timor languages, and at Austronesian languages from even further afield. But in this video I limit myself to these groups here. So when it comes to Southeastern Sulawesi languages then, she finds this word in the Muna language, malati, kitchen knife. And in Gumaj, a Yulngo variety, we have the same word, malati, knife. Yes. Moving on to the Western Timor languages. As I said, in many Northern Australian languages, sea cucumber is called taripang, this word that comes from Makassarese. However, in these 3 Yulngo languages and in the non-related Burara, we find this word, punyapi, which Schapper says comes from Western Timor languages. Here we have the word for sea cucumber in 3 different languages, and the supposed root word, the original word, is this one. Now the first sound here is a voiced implosive. I am not 100% sure that I can produce a voiced implosive, so I'm not going to try. Anyway, voiced implosives do not exist in Australian languages, so they have chosen the closest sound that they have. F does not exist generally in Australian languages. They have chosen a sound that is close to F and that they actually do have, and that would be P. And non-stressed A in the first syllable becomes U in these languages. So, as I said, in the early 1700s, the macassar started coming down, and this sea cucumber trade really took off in the middle of the century. There is a lot of information in this article by Schapper here, a lot more than this. Some of it more speculative than other parts of the information, but I might do another video about this article and where I go through information in this article. This is all for today anyway, so see you later.